Welcome back. JPMorgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon commenting on the recent clash with Senator Elizabeth Warren over overdraft fees. I want to ask you about policy because you had a little testy exchange with Elizabeth Warren the other day.
Mr. Dimon, how much did JPMorgan collect in overdraft fees from their consumers in 2020?
Well, I think your numbers are totally inaccurate, but we'll have to sit down privately and go through that.
These are public numbers.
And I also want to point out we did not overdraft.
Can you just answer my question? How much did JPMorgan collect?
We did not overdraft at the Fed account. And at any request,
so you never.
Said they needed,
I'm sorry,
they
Mr. Dimon. That was Mr. Dimon. That was not the question.
And she said, "How much did JPM collect in overdraft fees?" You said the premise of the question was wrong. She said she had the number, $1.463 billion. Does that change anything? Did you make a change on overdraft fees?
We've made, first of all, there are sometimes legitimate complaints about banks and what people do and how we do it. And we've changed overdraft and fees and charging over an extended period of time, and we always look at something like that. So I've asked the people to look at it again, go through in detail. A lot of competitors are making changes, and we may be a day late and a dollar slow, but if it's appropriate, we're going to make a bunch of changes. We will do what's competitive.
What do you mean? You're going to eliminate overdraft fees?
I don't know about that. Remember, there's a huge benefit to overdraft fees, and I think people have to, again, take a deep breath. We do real analytics. People who bounce checks, it often costs them a lot more than the overdraft fee. For example, if you ever not paid a ticket, yeah, they double it. If you don't pay a government bill, it's probably more than $34. It hurts your rating, it hurts your credit rating, et cetera. So we're trying to do the right thing for the client and figure out, not have a knee-jerk reaction, try to be more friendly. And of course, as you know, we give people more and more things for free. Online bill pay, ATMs just can do a tremendous amount of stuff, digital banking, free trading. So it's not just one thing we look at. We look at the whole product continuum when we do something like that.
Yeah, it's not a major piece of business, Dagan, but of course, Senator Warren wanted to put it out there to really shine a spotlight on the major banks during that exchange.
Right. She thought it was going to be a political win for her. You take a yardstick to the longtime CEO of the biggest bank in the country. I think she failed.
Yeah, I think you're right. Lee, what do you think?
Well, I think she failed too. I mean, this is an example of, in some ways, these symbolic gestures that they try to point out at. Look how greedy and monstrous these big companies are that serve a very real and important part of our economy. I think in this moment, she absolutely failed to do her job. I think Jamie Dimon did a good job holding his own. But I do think that people want to understand this issue. We see a lot of people have concern about a lack of transparency or understanding of what's going on with fees. And I think if they address that, that's the bigger issue. But his analogy where he was talking to you about, look, there's a lot of people who say if you don't pay your parking ticket, it doubles. You get a fee if you're late. What are we supposed to do in this instance? And I think it's really for them about framing this not as predatory, but as this is just appropriate if someone misuses their account. What are they supposed to do? And I think it's a fair question.